If you're listening to this, you already understand something powerful. You create your own reality, but maybe there are parts of your reality you're tired of creating. Patterns that just won't seem to go away. It might be in your relationships, it might be in your finances, it might be in your business, and no matter where you go, there you are. Same types of people, same types of situations, same disappointing endings. So the real question becomes, how do I break the pattern? Let me offer you a shift that can change everything. First, stop calling it a problem. A problem is just a label, and when you label something as a problem, you unconsciously fight it, you resist it, and what you resist persists. Here's something important to remember. Problems don't come to stay, they come to pass, but you are powerful enough to keep them around simply by refusing to learn from them. Instead of calling it a problem, call it a teaching. Every repeating pattern in your life is a lesson waiting to be understood. Life is not punishing you, life is training you. Think about the gym. Resistance builds strength. Without resistance, there is no growth. The same is true for your soul. If you keep attracting the same type of partner, maybe the teaching is about boundaries. If your deals keep falling apart at the last minute, maybe the teaching is about trust, preparation, or self-worth. If employees keep leaving your company, maybe the teaching is about leadership, communication, or culture. The pattern continues until the lesson is integrated. And there's a big difference between understanding a lesson and becoming the lesson. For example, you might intellectually understand that you deserve better in relationships, but until you embody that truth, until your standards, your energy, and your decisions reflect it, the pattern may echo back into your life. I call this the echo effect. Even after you learn something, life may present a similar situation again, not to punish you, but to give you the opportunity to act differently, to respond from the new version of yourself. Here's a powerful question to ask. What is this teaching me? Not, why does this keep happening to me? Not, what's wrong with me? But what am I here to learn? Because every new level of your life requires a new version of you. Everyone wants wealth, but can you hold the responsibility that comes with it? Everyone wants deep love, but can you hold vulnerability and intimacy? Everyone wants success, but can you hold pressure and leadership? Patterns are not here to break you. They are here to build capacity within you. Once the lesson is fully integrated, the pattern no longer serves a purpose, and what no longer serves a purpose naturally falls away. So the next time you see an old cycle trying to reappear, don't panic. Don't label it as failure. Get curious. Ask yourself, who am I becoming through this? Because life doesn't just give you what you want. It shapes you into the person who can sustain what you want. And when you truly become that person, the old patterns simply can't stay. And here's where this conversation gets even deeper. Because once you understand that patterns are teachings, the next question becomes, how do you actually integrate the lesson so the pattern stops repeating? It's one thing to hear this. It's another thing to live it. Most people stay stuck because they stay at the level of awareness. They say, oh, I get it now. But their behavior doesn't change. Their standards don't change. Their identity doesn't change. And identity is everything. You don't get what you want in life. You get who you are. So if a pattern keeps showing up, it's not random. It's not bad luck. It's not the universe picking on you. It's a reflection of an identity that is still active within you. Let's take relationships as an example. If someone keeps attracting emotionally unavailable partners, they might say, why do I always meet people like this? But the deeper inquiry is, what part of me is comfortable with emotional unavailability? Where am I emotionally unavailable to myself? What boundary am I afraid to set? Because patterns don't just live outside of you, they live inside of you. You can't keep choosing the same dynamic and expect a different result. And sometimes the hardest truth to accept is this: you are not attracting what you want. You are attracting what feels familiar. Familiar doesn't mean healthy. Familiar means conditioned. And until you break the internal conditioning, the external world will keep mirroring it back to you. The same thing happens in business. Someone might say, I keep hiring the wrong people. But what if the real teaching is about clarity? Clarity in expectations, clarity in communication, clarity in standards, or maybe it's about tolerance. What are you tolerating that you shouldn't be? Patterns persist where standards are weak. If you keep tolerating behavior that doesn't align with your values, life will keep sending you opportunities to strengthen your standards, not because it's cruel, but because it's training you to lead. Growth requires ownership, and ownership is uncomfortable. It's much easier to say, they hurt me. It's much harder to say, I ignored the red flags. It's easier to say, the deal fell through. It's harder to say, I was operating from fear. But the moment you take ownership, real ownership, something powerful happens. You stop being a victim of the pattern, and you become the architect of the lesson. And this is where transformation accelerates. Because once you own your role in the pattern, you gain the power to change it, not by forcing outcomes, not by controlling people, but by evolving yourself. Here's another key insight. Life will keep testing the area where you have asked to grow. If you want to become wealthy, you will be tested around money. If you want to become a great leader, you will be tested around people. If you want a deep relationship, you will be tested around vulnerability. Tests are not signs you're failing. They are signs you're progressing. Think about school. You don't get tested on material you haven't studied. You get tested on material you're ready to master. So when the pattern shows up again, instead of reacting emotionally, pause. Ask yourself, is this a punishment or is this a promotion? That shift alone changes your nervous system. Because when you see something as a problem, your body goes into contraction. When you see something as a teaching, your body opens into curiosity, and curiosity is powerful. Curiosity breaks emotional reactivity. Instead of saying, this always happens to me, you say, interesting, here it is again. What am I meant to see this time? And sometimes the teaching is subtle. Sometimes it's about patience. Sometimes it's about timing. Sometimes it's about letting go. Not every pattern is solved by pushing harder. Some are solved by surrender. There are seasons in life where the lesson isn't about control. It's about trust. If you constantly fear that something will fall apart, you may unconsciously create tension that pushes it away. Fear has creative power. If you expect betrayal, you will look for evidence of it. If you expect failure, you will brace for it. If you expect abandonment, you will overcompensate or withdraw. And in doing so, you participate in creating the very thing you're afraid of. This doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're human. Your subconscious mind is wired to protect you. But protection isn't the same as expansion. Sometimes the pattern is rooted in a past wound that is still asking to be healed. If you were criticized growing up, you may fear being seen. If you were abandoned, you may cling too tightly. If you experienced instability, you may sabotage peace because chaos feels normal. Until you bring compassion to those wounds, you will repeat them. Healing is not about blaming your past. It's about updating your present identity, and that requires courage. Courage to sit with discomfort. Courage to respond differently. Courage to say no when you used to say yes. Courage to walk away when you used to chase. Breaking a pattern often feels unnatural at first because you are stepping outside of conditioning. You are stepping outside of who you've been, and your nervous system may resist that. You might feel anxious when things are going well because your body is used to drama. You might feel bored in a healthy relationship because your system is used to intensity. But boredom isn't always a red flag. Sometimes it's peace. And peace can feel unfamiliar. So part of breaking the pattern is learning to tolerate the unfamiliar, learning to sit in stability without sabotaging it, learning to allow success without bracing for loss, learning to receive love without questioning it. This is identity work. It's not just about changing actions. It's about changing who you believe you are. If deep down you believe, I am the kind of person who always struggles, you will unconsciously recreate struggle. If you believe relationships never work for me, you will behave in ways that validate that belief. Beliefs are powerful. And beliefs are often hidden. So when a pattern shows up, ask, what belief is driving this? Not what behavior, not what circumstance. What belief? Because when you shift the belief, the behavior shifts naturally. And when behavior shifts consistently, identity shifts. And when identity shifts, reality shifts. This is why true transformation isn't quick hacks. It's not vision boards alone. It's not affirmations alone. It's deep alignment between belief, behavior, and identity. And once that alignment happens, the pattern has no fuel. It dissolves, not because you forced it away, but because you outgrew it. And that's the real goal. Not to fight the pattern, not to eliminate challenge, but to become someone for whom that pattern no longer fits. You don't solve your old life. You evolve beyond it. And as you evolve, your environment reorganizes around you. Different people show up. Different opportunities appear. Different results become normal because you are different. And that's the key. Patterns end when the version of you that needed them no longer exists. So instead of asking, how do I stop this from happening? Ask, who do I need to become so this no longer aligns with me? That question will change everything. Who am I becoming through this? Because life doesn't just give you what you want. It shapes you into the person who can sustain what you want. And when you truly become that person, the old patterns simply can't stay.